Hey everyone, today is brew day and I'm brewing up a lambic. Got myself a brand new 6-gallon carboy, which is I have PBW soaking in right now, and I just mashed in. Hopefully the camera will, there we go, mashed in outside. Simple grain bill, 65% German Pilsner malt and 35% wheat malt, and then got sparge water heating up here. Very full pot. I'm actually doing 8 gallons instead of my normal like 5 or 6, because we're gonna fill up that fermenter you saw, and then remember these guys, my little 1 gallon jugs that I did the Brett experiment in. Well, those two just went into the sour ale I bottled, so I'm gonna fill up both of those with wort as well. So I'll fill the other fermenter and these two, and I'm gonna pitch a chunk of that yeast, but most of the yeast that's in there is gonna stay in there. The one in particular on the right is the one where I added a lot of really nice dregs to and had a really nice tartness to it. So that's the plan today. And then I'm also, to fake a turbid mash, I'm going to take and steep some rolled oats. And I'll do that as I go up to a boil. I tried this trick with the extract beer I did, and that turned out well, except in that case I used flaked maize. And I just steeped that. And then added the extract in, and that beer actually turned out pretty good, and that's most of the base of the sour ale I just bottled. And then over here in the Karl Strauss growler, these are the dregs I'm growing up, and as you can see, there's degassing some CO2. Those are dregs from Cantillon Fou Foune, Upright Fantasia, and Sante Adairius Nonna's blend. I forget the number, I think 4 or 5 or something like that. So that's what I'm growing up in the growler, and that's what I'm going to be pitching into this beer. So there might be some Saccharomyces in there, but I think it's mostly the strains of Brett and, you know, lacto, pedo, and whatever other bacteria in there. So that's the plan for today's brew day. I don't know how much more I'm going to film. Maybe the boil. I'll show you the hops I'm going to use for this beer as well. Alright, mash is over, just a little bit of vorlaughing. Got a little stuck in my mash tun, but thanks to my my little brush that I use to clean dip tubes of the kegs, I got unclogged. So that's a good thing I learned today as far as my mash tun getting clogged up with debris and possible grain and stuff. So looks like it's flowing pretty good right now. Doesn't matter if the wort's really clear, because we're going to cloudy it up with those rolled oats. So I got my sparge water heating up to over 190 degrees. And you want really hot sparge water, and then you can see the top of the grain bed there. So yeah, when you brew lambic style beer slash wort, you almost do the opposite of what you normally want to do in terms of sparging really hot and wanting really starchy, cloudy wort. So it's kind of a weird beer, and of course the aged hops come into play once we get up to a boil. So hopefully it'll run pretty good, and I won't get stuck, but if I do, I know how to get unstuck now. So that's something really happy that that brush fits through the ball valve and goes into the tube in the mash tun to unclog it. So nice relief that I don't have to dump out all that grain into somewhere else to unclog it. So alright, so we're going to sparge away and then get up to a boil. Alright, so time to boil. Temporary towel over here to kind of help us get up the temperature. It was a really long lauter today. I put a little more rice hulls in there, and still was pretty slow. So as you can see, I have the oats in there right now. And it definitely cloudied up that wort nice. So yeah, just let this thing go up to a boil, and I'll probably boil, I don't know, I've never boiled any of these, you know, grains, the maize or the oats, so I'm not sure how long I'm going to leave them in there. But definitely you want cloudy, starchy wort for lambic, so I'm definitely getting there. This is also the largest amount of wort I've ever had in the kettle, so it's been fun transferring it up to the burner, and yeah, gonna have to watch the boil over today as well. So we'll get up to boil and add some hops. All right, it's hops time. I'm using the aged lambic hops from Fresh Hops, which is kind of the irony of these. But as you can see, 1 to 2% alpha acid, and then they're old aged Willamette hops. So let's go dump them in out here. Got a pretty good boil going, because I want to boil off maybe like 2 gallons of wort. So let's get those hops in there. This should be, as we steam up the camera, roughly 1.2 IBUs is what I think it said on Beersmith. But yeah, if you get too many IBUs in these beers, then the lactobacillus isn't going to work well for you. Lactobacillus doesn't like hops. So that's something I'm probably going to change with my farmhouse ale and try to get those IBUs down a little bit more. Maybe I'll get a little more tartness. Hard to say. I was talking with Chad Jacobson from Crooked Stave, and he was just saying to keep my yeast cake going, and it should get more sour over time. So maybe I'll keep the hop dosage where I have it for that beer. But for this one, ½ ounce for 8-gallon batch. In they go. The hops have a very like tea-like character to them at this point. I mean, there is some aroma. They're not devoid of aroma, so I can smell that coming off right now. So hops are going in for about 90 minutes, or a little 90 plus minutes, and it's a 120-minute boil. So I'm gonna go 2 hours. I know traditionally it's like 3 hours plus for lambic boils. I don't have the time or the patience to do that, nor do I want to burn that much propane. So 2 hours for me. And this is gonna wrap up this video. From here on out, it's just letting it boil, cool down, and go into the carboy. So I'm pitch the yeast. So anyway, you guys have all seen that before. So it's gonna wrap up this brew day. Until next time, cheers.